To pay off his own debt, Grandpa packages me off into a marriage alliance with his sworn enemy the very day I land back in the country. The moment I find out the truth, I explode at the mastermind himself. Fine, back in your day you stole another man's fiancé, but now that they've come knocking to settle the score, you suddenly remember me and shove me out to take the fall? Where were you all these years? Let me make one thing clear. I am not getting married. I have an older sister and an older brother. Why should I be the one paying off your Playboy debts? Doesn't your conscience ache at all? Grandpa Sinclair's eyes dart away as he mumbles his excuse. Your brother thought I was too strict, so he took off overseas to live his own life ages ago. Your sister is a girl, which leaves only you for the alliance, doesn't it? Hearing this, I stare at him in disbelief and shout back, so because nobody else was available, it lands on me. Am I even your real grandson? Old man, what's your angle? Why must it be me? Is something fishy going on here? I glare at him with suspicion. Grandpa Sinclair waves his hands wildly. How could that be? Ethan, you are my own grandson. Would Grandpa ever scam you? I would never let you marry just any woman. You'll be marrying Lena of the Payne family. I seriously question whether my ears are working. Marrying who? Lena Payne. The name strikes me like a thunderbolt. Lena Payne is the head of the Payne Group. Everyone whispers about how ruthless she is. She controls half business of Havencrest, and countless people look up to her with awe. But what pops into my head is a sinister witch grinning at me with a wicked smile. I wave my hands in a panic. No, no, no. Lena is the infamous tyrant. You're sending me off as a sacrifice. I don't care what you say. I refuse to marry her. If you like Lena so much, marry her yourself. Seeing me refuse with every fiber of my being, Grandpa Sinclair immediately pulls out his trump card. Ethan, listen to Grandpa. As long as you marry Lena, I'll help you with that matter you wanted. In an instant, I forget all about being tricked. My eyes light up as I ask curiously, what matter? Grandpa Sinclair just smiles mysteriously and says nothing. Meanwhile, on a sofa inside the Payne estate, a woman with a graceful figure is seated. Her voice carries a cool distance. Grandpa, you specifically called me back. Is there something you need? The old man watches his granddaughter carefully and slowly speaks. I've arranged a marriage for you. The moment the words leave his mouth, the woman stands up and turns to walk out. A cold, clear voice rings through the empty hall. Stay out of my business. Lena, are you planning to wait until you're 72 to get married? She ignores her grandpa's shout and coldly replies, my marriage is not for you to decide. But after only 2 steps, a voice cuts through the air behind her. The groom is old Sinclair's grandson. Lena's footsteps freeze and her heart clenches. Could it really be him? Seeing her reaction, Grandpa Payne lets out a small laugh, then sips his tea and adds slowly, that's right, the person you've been searching for all this time is still alive. Lena, all you have to do is get married and I'll hand over the file. How's that? Lena replies without a moment's hesitation. Fine, I'll marry him. And just like that, the date arrives. July 20th. At the entrance of the marriage registry office, Mom and Dad drag me out of the car. Half asleep, I stand off to the side. When Mom sees the sorry state I'm in, she jabs me in frustration. I let out a muffled grunt from the poke. A moment later, Grandpa Payne arrives. The instant he steps out and sees me, he cheerfully calls out to Lena, Lena, come take a look at your fiancé. Look at how handsome our Ethan is. What a perfect match. Hearing this, Lena's delicate brow creases slightly. On my side, I look up and see that unfamiliar yet exquisite face across from me. Setting everything else aside, Lena is truly beautiful. But I know, some people are like a datura flower. The more beautiful, the more deadly. When Lena sees me, a flash of surprise crosses her eyes as well. She thought she was marrying the eldest Sinclair heir, Julian. Who would have guessed she was actually marrying Ethan? What a shock. Meanwhile, seeing Lena's expressionless face, I think to myself gleefully, this is perfect. So you don't want this marriage either, Lena. Hurry up and say it. Come on, then we'll both be free. Just thinking about my freedom makes me burst with joy. I get up, ready to bolt. But the second I try to run, Dad grabs the back of my collar and shoves me down onto the bench. 10 minutes later, the old sworn enemies stand at the doorway of the registry office, staring at 2 red marriage certificates and burying the hatchet. They shake hands, they hug. Only Lena keeps her brow furrowed the whole time. They've got to be kidding. Doesn't Grandpa Sinclair adore Ethan? And yet he's willing to let Ethan marry me? He really went all in. Meanwhile, I crouch on the ground, holding my head in agony. Wait a minute, doesn't Lena look down on me? With her personality, she should have turned around and walked out. How did she end up being so obedient and just signed the paperwork? It's over. My free life is gone. After a long day, I finally get home in the evening. Just as I'm about to sprawl comfortably on my bed and catch up on sleep, wait a second, I hear another piece of horrible news. I actually have to move out. Before I can even process what's happening, I watch helplessly as my luggage is hauled truckload after truckload into Lena's territory. I keep protesting to Grandpa. Take less, take less. I'm still coming back, you know. I'm not gone forever. But Grandpa just pats my shoulder and waves his hand grandly. Even my slippers don't get left behind. An hour later, I'm already standing in Lena's private residence, Lunaris Manor. I look at Lena and awkwardly greet her. Hi there, I'm Ethan. Lena looks at me and lets out a soft sigh. Then she gives a small nod to show she heard me. Her voice stays cold as she says, Hello, Ethan. Let me lay down my rules. Except for the 3rd floor, which is off limits, you can pick any room you want. Hearing that, I immediately dash off to pick a bedroom. But after wandering through several rooms, none of them meet my standards. So I stand on the 2nd floor frowning and shout down at Lena. Hey Lena, This place of yours is way too shabby. You don't even have a decent gaming room. How am I supposed to live here? Lina hears my complaint and takes a deep breath. Her voice stays distant. Live here if you can. If not, leave now. I despise picky men. Without waiting for my reaction, she heads upstairs without so much as a glance back. My blood boils in an instant. I immediately dial home, ready to rat her out to Grandpa. But to my shock, not a single person picks up my call. Fine, just fine. I finally get it. This whole thing is a trap. So there's no gaming room? Whatever, I'll just live here. I refuse to believe Lina could actually kick me out. Grinding my teeth in my head, I drag my suitcases around violently to vent my anger. Then I pick a room with decent lighting and settle in. Upstairs, Lina hears that I've finally quieted down. She lets out a soft chuckle and turns to head back to her own bedroom. Early the next morning, a growling stomach drags me out of my sweet dreams. I look around, and the empty, dead, silent room feels strange to me. I sit there dazed for a long time before remembering. This isn't my home. This is the Ice Queen's territory, Lunaris Manor. At that thought, I flop back down, refusing to accept reality. It's not until I'm dizzy from hunger that I finally head downstairs. She must have left me some food, right? Lina has to eat too, after all. She couldn't possibly be that inhuman. But the moment I get downstairs, the smile freezes on my face and I stand there stunned. The kitchen has absolutely nothing in it. It's spotless, as if no one has ever lived here. Not a trace of life. Refusing to believe it, I wander through all of Lunaris Manor for half an hour without spotting a single soul. I nearly break down and shout, "Is there anyone here? Someone, please help me. I really want to eat." Meanwhile, inside the Pain Group tower, Lina tosses a confidential file that just arrived to her assistant. Verify how accurate this information is. Chloe glances at the contents and immediately understands. Just as she turns to head out, she runs into Mr. Payne, who has come to see the boss. Mr. Payne gets straight to the point. "Lina, last night was your wedding night. How was it with Ethan?" Hearing this, Chloe, who had no idea her boss was married, trips on the step and makes a loud noise. Every staff member in the secretary department looks up and stares at her. She, in turn, whips her head around in shock at her boss. Lina glances at her usually composed assistant. Chloe quickly pulls herself together and leaves, forcing herself to look calm. Lina looks at her father. "What do you want to know?" At 8 in the evening, Lina finishes her day's work. She stands up, ready to head home, but suddenly remembers there's now another person waiting there. She doesn't want to face him, so she sits back down, planning to sleep at the office. Just then, Chloe, who hasn't dared to ask, knocks and enters. "Boss, your grandfather called. He wants you home. What must be faced must be faced." She can't stay away forever. Back at Lunaris Manor, I get up and curiously walk to the window to admire the sunset glow outside. I have to admit, Lina has impeccable taste. Lunaris Manor faces east for brilliant sunrises and west for skies painted with sunset. But no matter how gorgeous, I can't eat the view. My stomach has been growling for ages, and there's still no sign of her coming home. When is dinner? Thinking this, I flop straight down onto the floor. Lina stands in the doorway, watching me sprawled on the floor, hands folded, eyes closed, seemingly asleep. Lina feels puzzled but calmly walks over and looks down at me. "What are you doing?" My eyes snap open. "I'm figuring out which pose would look coolest while I starve to death." As we head into the living room, I trail behind her, complaining nonstop. "This crummy place of yours doesn't even have a single servant, fine. But when I try to order delivery, they refuse because you live in the suburbs. Lina, what do you gain from starving me? Say what you want, I'm still your husband. Do you want to become a widow? No matter what, you can't screw me over like this." Lina stops in her tracks and turns to look at my handsome face. "There are plenty of vegetables in the fridge. Can't you cook something yourself when you're hungry?" I shake my head like it's the most obvious thing in the world. "Nope. Can't you look up cooking steps on your phone either?" Talking about it just makes me angrier. I forget I'm dealing with the Ice Queen herself, grab her arm and drag her to the kitchen. "Come on, show me how to turn on your stove. This whole house of high-tech gadgets literally makes me feel dumber." Lina glances at me, doesn't bother to respond, and opens the fridge. 10 minutes later, a steaming bowl of noodles is placed in front of me. "Wow, thank you for saving my life. Thank you for the kindness of this bowl of noodles. If you ever need my help in the future, just ask. I promise I'll leave you hanging." Lina watches me, half-starved yet still full of nonsense. "Eat quietly. I really am starving." The bowl of noodles is gone in under 5 minutes. I even cup the bowl in both hands and slurp down every drop of broth. I set the empty bowl down, wipe my mouth with the back of my hand. Lina looks utterly disgusted. I turn to her. "I want to hire a housekeeper." "Not happening." "Then what if I starve to death?" "Learn to cook." "I can't learn." "Then you won't starve." I pretend to threaten her, but she just glances at my wide, harmless-looking glare and asks, "Full yet?" "No." Lina pauses for a few seconds. She was about to get up and cook more, but seeing that stubborn defiance in my eyes, the words that come out change. "Not full? Then stay hungry." My temper completely snaps. "Lina, what kind of female CEO are you? So petty." Lina suddenly thinks about her family's pressure and turns to me. "Let's talk about this marriage. What are your thoughts?" My anger vanishes in an instant. "What about the marriage? Didn't we already sign the papers?" She lets out a long sigh. "No matter what the Sinclair family thinks, our two families are prestigious households. A grand wedding is inevitable." No. A wedding is completely unnecessary. Holding one is just for outsiders to see. The exhaustion falls on us. They've got to be kidding. Back then they only said sign the papers. Nobody told me about a wedding. If we throw a wedding and the whole city knows, how am I supposed to divorce her later and roam free? I shake my head hard. "Not doing it, I'm not doing it." Lina nods. Good. On this point, we actually agree. But this man can't cook, and I can't keep letting him starve at home. The next day, on the way to the company, Chloe can't contain her curiosity any longer. She asks, "Boss, are you really married?" Chloe recalls that when she picked up her boss this morning, Lena stood at the doorway, hesitating, staring at the entrance of the house as if looking at someone inside. After getting into the car, she specifically ordered lunch to be delivered to the house at noon. Could the boss really be married? But how can I, her most trusted assistant, have no idea? Lena lowers her gaze, her captivating eyes fixed on her phone. After a long moment, she gives a soft, Chloe's eyes fly wide in disbelief. "Boss, which family's heir did you marry?" "The Sinclair family." "But aren't the Payne and Sinclair families sworn enemies?" Chloe is reeling from her boss's bombshell news. "But boss, does Miss Vivian know that her little brother married you?" Lena doesn't respond. In an overseas research lab, a young woman in a white coat stands outside the glass watching the experiment inside. Behind her, several subordinates are reporting on the progress. Even with a mask covering half her face, nothing can hide her cool, elegant aura. Suddenly her phone rings. Vivian pulls out the phone and glances at the screen. It's a call from her rival, from the sworn enemy family. She picks up. "Hello?" Lena's voice comes through. "I got married." Vivian's tone turns teasing. "Come on, friend, if you get married, my grandpa's going to get competitive and force me to marry too." The rivalry between the two families' elders has been going on for ages, and the younger generation has suffered for it. Lena pauses in her chair for 2 seconds. "I married your little brother." 2 seconds of silence on the other end. "What did you say?" Vivian rips off her mask in shock, turns and walks out of the lab, still on the phone. "Lena, I treated you like family, and you set your sights on my little brother? He's younger than you. I'm flying home right now, don't you dare run." Back at Lunaris Manor, I sit on the bed spacing out. A man can't just sit here and wait to die. I have to find a way out. After feeling my way around Lunaris Manor all morning, I finally locate the main gate. The moment I step outside, a car drives past. The driver even rolls down the window and asks me, "Excuse me, is this the residence of Lena Payne?" I nod. Then I walk on foot for over an hour, until I reach a little hole-in-the-wall diner by the roadside, and head straight in to hunt for food. Back in the Lunaris Manor living room, a feast is laid out on the table, but nobody dares touch it. The boss only ordered them to deliver the food, and they don't dare go upstairs to call her down to eat. So the delivery people simply leave, abandoning a whole table of delicacies. Once I'm full, I let out a satisfied burp, flag down a taxi, and head straight home. "Grandpa, get out here! Today you and I are done being grandfather and grandson." Grandpa Sinclair is enjoying his tea in the living room, relaxed as can be. Suddenly, he hears the angry voice arrive before the person does. He exchanges a look with his wife, and the two immediately grab hands and hide. "Where is everyone? Vanished into thin air? Get out here!" I storm into the living room and see the whole place is empty. I wait a moment, but still nobody comes out. "Fine, you forced me to do this." I lift Grandpa's favorite celadon vase high with both hands, ready to let go. "Wait, kiddo, Grandpa is here! Easy, easy! Set the vase down slowly on the shelf. Let's talk this out." Grandpa Sinclair's eyes stay glued to his precious vase. "Kiddo, why are you home?" I tuck the celadon vase right under my armpit. If I didn't come back, I was going to starve to death. Inside the Payne Group tower, that man should be eating by now, right? Loud and obnoxious. Nothing like his brother's personality at all. His brother Julian is steady and composed, like a cold blade. Quiet, distant. I thought real brothers would be at least a little alike, but they're complete opposites. I thought marrying Ethan would make dealing with family easy, but he's so loud I want to grab tape and stick it over his mouth. Seeing her boss looking troubled, Chloe asks, "Boss, are you worried about the new project?" Lena sets her hand down and slowly says, "Release the funds. Open bidding for what needs bidding. Review what needs reviewing. 6 months. I want results." Yes. That afternoon, Lena finishes work early and heads home. She pushes open the door and sees the cold, untouched dishes on the dining table. She frowns and for the first time calls out my full name. "Ethan, where are you? Still sleeping?" Getting no response, she feels a faint unease in her heart. Oh no, could he actually have starved into trouble? Lena rushes upstairs and quickly pushes open my bedroom door. She sees a room in total disarray but no sign of me anywhere. I just finished showering when my phone rings. It's an unknown number. "Hello? Who is this?" A cold female voice comes through. "Where are you?" I glance at my phone uncertainly. "Is this Lena?" At 8 in the evening, Lena appears at my family's house. Still in my pajamas, with my hair not even dried, I glare at her irritably. "Why are you suddenly here? What do you want?" At Lunaris Manor I can act meek, but here on my home turf, I've got to stand tall. Mom tugs at my hand from the side. "Ethan, how can you talk to Lena like that? Lena came here to pick you up." I purse my lips and mutter, "Pick me up for what? I don't want to starve again." Lena's cheeks flush red and she lowers her head. "I'm sorry. Yesterday was truly my oversight." Grandpa Sinclair chimes in to smooth things over. "Aren't husband and wife supposed to start out unfamiliar and slowly work things out until they get used to each other? When your grandma and I first got married, we weren't used to each other either. Marriage is all about slowly adjusting." I shoot him down instantly. "Oh please, Grandpa. Back then you were busy stealing Grandpa Payne's fiancée. What was there for you two to get used to? You dated for 3 whole years before getting married, and you have the nerve to use your marriage as an example right in front of her? You two shoved subbed your favorite grandson out to pay off your debts." The entire living room falls into instant silence. Lena lifts her eyes and glances at me. Mom tugs at me again and I finally shut my mouth. While Lena chats with Grandpa and Mom downstairs, I'm upstairs getting lectured by Dad. I originally had no intention of leaving with Lena, but then Grandpa Sinclair comes over and right by my ear whispers to me for a whole half hour. "You promised, right? I get divorced in 3 years. If you don't let me, I'll tell Grandma about your secret stash." "Deal. But grandson, if you're going to the Payne house, you can't go for nothing. You have to help Grandpa get some payback." I look at Grandpa suspiciously. "What payback? If anyone should be angry, it's Grandpa Payne." Grandpa Sinclair's eyes are firm. "If you help Grandpa get his payback, I'll let you divorce in 2 years. Deal." Deep in the night, once again with the whole family watching, I'm loaded into Lena's car. Halfway there, I spot a convenience store on the roadside and want to stop for snacks and instant noodles. "Lena, I didn't have dinner. I was counting on a late night snack at home, but then you dragged me away." Lena acts like she doesn't hear a word and drives straight to Lunaris Manor without lifting off the gas. Seeing that, I can't be bothered to stay mad. Once we arrive, I get out and walk straight into the house. I push open the door and see the full table of dishes in the living room. So, I misjudged Lena. She wasn't trying to starve me during the day after all. I sneak a glance at her and mumble a quick, "Sorry." Lena wasn't expecting a sudden apology from me. Her tone softens quite a bit. "Come here. I'll teach you how to turn on the stove. A gentleman stays out of the kitchen. Men who cook get looked down on. Didn't you know? This man has barged into my territory and I can't drive him out. For now, I can't afford to tear things open with Grandpa either." Lena lets out a sigh. "With me around, you'll be able to hold your head high for the rest of your life. I'll teach you." "I'm not doing it. I'm just not." I shake my head. "Lena, if you've got the guts, hit me." By now, I'm already sitting at the dining table, digging into the lunch dishes still on the table. "Lena, don't think I don't know you wanted to marry my brother. I happen to be Julian's favorite little brother. You'd better treat me well. If you starve me half to death, I'll go find Julian and tell him you starved me." Clatter. Something seems to hit the floor. I instantly fall silent. The whole reason I built Lunaris Manor was to have a quiet, peaceful sanctuary, a place with an atmosphere to rest in. Now it's noisy and chaotic. I just hope that once Julian shows up, he'll hurry up and drag his little brother away. Seeing that I've finally gone quiet, Lena goes back to cooking. Watching her elegant, stunning silhouette, I realize the mighty boss Payne is actually cooking for me. I should say something nice to praise her. And so, my mouth is off and running again. As the old saying goes, a woman who can cook loses half her rivals. "Lena, don't you worry. When you want to become my sister-in-law, just for the kindness of feeding me tonight, I'll definitely put in a good word for you." Lena's hands freeze mid-motion. I fall silent once more. Lena turns and lifts her eyes to look at me. "Who told you I wanted to marry your brother?" I immediately clap a hand over my mouth. "Lena, don't worry. I swear I won't say a single word to anyone outside." Lena helplessly turns back and keeps cooking. Once the food is ready and set on the table, she watches me shovel it into my mouth without minding the heat, and only then realizes I really was starving. "So good. Lena, you're literally a kitchen genius. A genius. This is incredible." Watching me eat with zero grace, Lena's red lips curve into a small smile she can't hold back. "Finish up and get to bed early. Tomorrow you're coming with me to the Payne house." I bite off a noodle, look at Lena, and my little schemes start bubbling in my head. The next day, I follow Lena to the Payne estate on the west coast. This is my first time visiting the Payne house. All those ghost stories Grandpa used to tell, they were all set in the Payne estate. Because we're sworn enemies, neither side would let up on any chance to trash the other. Every time a story wasn't even finished, Grandma would smack Grandpa down. "You dare scare Ethan again? Hurry up and put the grandchildren to sleep." And Grandpa would stop right there. It genuinely left a deep, dark shadow on my heart. The moment I step into the Payne house, a wave of coldness hits me. I mutter to myself so Grandpa wasn't lying. It really is cold. Seeing me drift off into my own little world again, Lena smiles gently, then puts on her cool mask again. "What are you doing? Hurry up and keep up." I let out an "oh" and quickly follow. Once we enter the Payne family living room, Grandpa Payne is the happiest of all. "Ethan is here! Come here! Come here!" He warmly waves me over to sit down. I've finally infiltrated the enemy's lair. I've met Grandpa Payne before, back when he and Grandpa would argue. The two old men bickered like little kids. Next to me sits a beautiful woman. She must be Lena's mother. Grandpa Payne asks me warmly, "Ethan, how have things been between you and Lena these past 2 days?" I finally snap back to attention. "Oh, decent, I guess. Aside from starving 3 times a day and never knowing where the next meal comes from." Lena's eyes snap to me. I turn back and shoot her a smug, raised eyebrow. Looking at the entire family staring at her, Lena says, "Work has been busy. I couldn't take care of him." Grandma Payne speaks up. "Then Lena, you and Ethan should just move back here to live." I look at Lena and curl my lips into a smile. "You wouldn't let me hire a housekeeper? Now I'll get you back. I'll make you move back to your family's house." Lena glances at silly little me. "Then have a room prepared for us. We'll stay here tonight." I freeze on the spot. Wait, I suggested staying over to make Lena miserable. I didn't realize I'd screw myself in the process. Great, I fell into my own trap. Late at night, Lena sits on the sofa in her bedroom. Why did I agree to stay over this afternoon? I regret it so much. I sit at the foot of the bed staring at Lena across from me. "What are you looking at your phone for this late at night? Are you planning to sit there all night?" Lena lifts her eyes slightly and glances at me. I quickly look away, refusing to meet her gaze. "At least sleeping here means you won't go hungry." Feeling guilty, I don't dare say a word. Silence fills the room for a few minutes. Suddenly another idea hits me. "Hey Lena, let's escape. I can climb walls. If you don't know how, I'll teach you. Let's sneak out tonight and sneak back in tomorrow morning. How about it? My brain is genius. Once we escape, she goes her way, I go mine, and we just meet up at the gate on time tomorrow morning. Lena glances at me. He's my friend's little brother after all. I should be gentle with him. You go. I'll wait here. I stare at her in disbelief. You're not coming with me? I don't know the way. The Payne estate is huge. Without a guide, I'll get lost in no time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have pulled Lena into this scheme. I'm not so noble that I'd bring my newlywed wife along on my escape. She's just useful to me. Lena seems to see right through my thoughts. She takes a deep breath and keeps her patience. This is my friend's little brother. This is my friend's little brother. This is my friend's little brother. Suddenly, a series of knocks at the door. Miss Lena, the master wishes to speak with you. Lena glances at my curious face and asks, do you want to come? I jump right up. Am I allowed? The next second, Lena smirks coldly. No. Watching my face collapse instantly, Lena walks out of the bedroom in a delightful mood. Seeing the smile on Miss Lena's face, the butler thinks to himself, it seems Miss Lena and the young master are making good progress. Entering Grandpa Payne's study, Lena's expression returns to her usual coldness. What do you want? You're starving Ethan on purpose? Grandpa Payne thinks his granddaughter is unhappy with the marriage and doing this to torment him. That's right. Since you forced me to marry him, you'd better be prepared for him to be tormented by me. I won't hire anyone at Lunaris Manor to serve him. If he's hungry, he can starve. Once you all can't stand it anymore, you'll naturally send him away. Grandpa Payne slams the desk. Lena, Ethan is your husband. Lena looks at her grandfather without a trace of fear at his anger. You're the one who forced me to marry him. She turns to leave. Hold on. Grandpa Payne stops his granddaughter once more. 10 minutes of conversation, and Lena gets exactly what she wants. She even secures a promise from her grandfather. 2 years. If you and Ethan still can't develop feelings for each other, you can get divorced. But during these 2 years, you must come home. You can't sleep elsewhere, and you can't have anything with anyone else that would shame our two families. Lena turns back to her grandfather, a disdainful curl at her lips. The other half of the file. Give it to me soon. Lena reaches her bedroom door and pushes it open. The room is empty. Where's Ethan? He couldn't have actually climbed the wall and escaped, could he? Half an hour later, I return dejected. Lena seems to have been expecting it. She's lounging on the sofa, casually flipping through documents in her hand. The wall climb was a bust. I slump down at the foot of the bed and look at Lena in frustration. What kind of treasure is hidden at your house? Why do you have security patrolling 24 hours a day? And fine, patrol all you want, but why is the wall wrapped in electric fencing? Is that to keep out thieves or to keep out me? Lena closes the file and calmly says, both. She stands up and looks at the dust all over me. So this guy really did go off to plot an escape. Get some rest, I'm going to the study. In the study, Lena looks over the investigation in the file. Her brow furrows tight. Where did Julian go? Is he dead or alive? The next morning I wake up and see that the other side of the bed shows no sign of anyone having slept there. Only then do I relax. Actually, it makes sense. Lena likes someone else, so there is no way she'd come back in the middle of the night for me. Stepping out of the bedroom, I see Grandma Payne watering flowers in the early morning. I walk over. Grandma, let me help you water the flowers. Grandma Payne sees me awake and her smile grows deeper. She hands me the watering can. Like I'm dumping out a bucket, I pour the entire pot of water straight down. Ethan, stop! That's the one your grandpa brought back. What's wrong, Grandma? What did you say? I've already poured all the water in. Grandpa Payne adores his euphorbia. He tended to it with utmost care, terrified of even the slightest mishap. Grandma Payne lets out a helpless laugh. Ethan, this is your grandpa's favorite euphorbia. This kind of drought-loving plant can't handle water. A tiny bit is enough, but half a pot of water is absolutely way too much. Learning that I ruined Grandpa Payne's plant, I'm overwhelmed with guilt. I run right over to Grandpa Payne to apologize. Hearing this, Grandpa Payne, delighted, says, ruined? How did it happen? There's not a trace of sadness or grief on Grandpa Payne's face. Instead, there's a hint of eagerness. I nod in self-blame. I'm sorry, Grandpa, I didn't mean to. Seeing how sorry I am, the whole family jumps in to comfort me. It's alright, that plant was just for admiring. If it's ruined, we can just admire Grandma's flowers instead. That's right, Ethan. You can water Grandma's flowers. Seeing the family being so forgiving, I feel even more guilty. As Lena walks out of her bedroom and heads down the stairs, she hears that I drowned her grandfather's beloved euphorbia. Drowned it? A faint smile curves her lips as she continues downstairs. Before even reaching the living room, she hears a thud. Grandpa, the whole starving 3 times a day, never knowing where my next meal comes from thing, I made all that up. Lena didn't starve me on purpose. Ethan, don't cover for her. If she did something wrong, she needs to be taught a lesson. Grandpa Payne's voice reaches Lena's ears. She stops in her tracks. This man is defending me? What is he up to? Grandpa, really? Lena didn't know I couldn't cook. Besides, she just got married too. She didn't realize there was another mouth at home waiting to be fed. That evening, she came home and made me noodles. They were really good. The next day, she even had a huge lunch delivered to the house. And that night, she personally cooked me delicious food. If she really wanted to starve me, I wouldn't even have the strength to talk to you right now. Grandpa, what I said yesterday wasn't serious. I was messing around. Eavesdropping from around the corner, Lena has a small, glowing smile on her lips. At least he knows what's right. Grandpa Payne thinks back on how he misunderstood his granddaughter last night. That granddaughter didn't even bother to explain and just admitted to it. What a maddening girl. Seeing Grandpa Payne lost in thought, I pause and say, Grandpa, can we head out today? Just then, Lena steps out from around the corner and announces directly, we're leaving after breakfast. Grandpa Payne's face darkens. Going where? Lena looks at me. To his house. Leaving the Payne house, we head straight to mine without a single detour. Grandma, Grandpa, Mom, Dad, I'm home. When Grandpa Sinclair hears that I drowned Grandpa Payne's precious euphorbia, he lets out loud cheers. That's my boy! That's my boy! Grandpa knew you'd wreak havoc on the Payne house. I entrusted you with the mission, and you sure didn't let me down. I make a miserable face, but I didn't mean to. Haha, no worries, Grandpa gets you. Lena watches the grandfather-grandson duo scheme against her grandpa right in front of her, yet she doesn't get angry at all. She even looks at guilty little me and offers a suggestion. You can buy a new one and give it to him. A light bulb goes off in my head. That's right, I can get Grandpa Payne a new one. Back at the Payne house, Grandpa Payne stares at his euphorbia. I always wait for it to finally kick the bucket. I'm not the kind of person who grows plants as a hobby, but my wife loves flowers and plants, and she was always nagging me about having no interests. So I dropped a fortune importing a euphorbia from overseas and made a big show in front of my wife that I too was now a plant person. But the truth is, I stopped wanting to care for it long ago. Now Ethan is finally coming to save me. Let it die, let it die. What a wonderful thing. That evening, Grandpa Payne looks at the table at the apology gift from his granddaughter's husband, a brand new euphorbia plant. Grandpa Payne stares in silence. I sincerely apologize. Grandma Payne just thinks this kid is so sweet. Mr. Payne thinks this kid is so thoughtful. Only Lena stands off to the side with a faint smile. Grandma Payne gently reminds her husband, hurry up and praise the kids. Arthur, just accept it. Look, Ethan and Lena specifically bought this for you. Grandpa Payne is not happy at all. His sharp, piercing eyes stay locked on his granddaughter. She did this on purpose. In this whole family, only this eldest granddaughter of mine knows I don't like plants. Back when I first bought the euphorbia, it was Lena who gave me the idea. Now she's pretending to be helpful, telling Ethan to buy a new one to make it up to me. This was definitely her suggestion too. Lena's lips stay slightly curved. She meets her grandfather's eyes without flinching. Her direct gaze doesn't deny a thing. In the end, Grandpa Payne accepts the new plant from me and has to start caring for it from scratch. But just a few days later, the original euphorbia I drowned turns out to be alive and well. Not a single problem. It's actually growing even better. Only Grandpa Payne went from having one plant to care for to now having two. One day Lena's phone rings. She glances at the caller ID and picks up the next second. Hello? An anxious male voice comes through. Lena, your mother collapsed. She's in the medical office. What happened to my mom? Lena rises to her feet, trembling. She grabs her keys and rushes out. At Haven Crest University, Ivan Warren is waiting at the gate. Soon Lena's private car pulls up at the school entrance. Get in. Ivan opens the passenger door. Once inside, he immediately rolls down the window. People outside are already watching them. Ivan adjusts his expression, making himself look more refined, with a deep look of remorse mixed in. Graduation season kept Mrs. Payne busy for a long time, and our experiment was delayed. Today the equipment arrived, so Mrs. Payne and I went to the lab to prepare for the next step. It was supposed to be me doing it. Mrs. Payne told me to go get the materials. I had no idea Mrs. Payne would collapse in the lab. Lena's mother, Diana, is the dean of a branch college at Haven Crest University. Ivan is a student she mentored. After graduating, he stayed on to continue doing experiments under Lena's mother. At the medical office, Mrs. Payne is alone by her bedside, but she's already on in fourth. Lena, why are you here? Mrs. Payne is wearing a mask, breathing oxygen. She glances at Ivan behind Lena. Ivan, you called Lena? Mrs. Payne, I'm sorry. When it happened, I was too panicked, so I took it upon myself to call Lena. Lena walks over and sits on the stool by her mother's bed. How did you collapse? It's nothing. Lab protective supplies have been in short supply lately. A small operational mistake. I inhaled a trace amount of reagent. Mild poisoning. Lena goes to the doctor to ask about her mother's condition. Lena, why don't we take Auntie to a bigger hospital for another checkup? Collapsing is no small thing. That afternoon, Mrs. Payne feels a bit better, and Lena takes her mother to the hospital. Ivan volunteers to sit in the back seat to accompany them, and they don't leave the hospital until nightfall. Lena drives Ivan back to the Warren house. Mr. Warren keeps insisting Lena come inside to sit for a while, and Ivan looks at Lena with a hopeful face too. No thanks. Thank you for today, Ivan. Another day when I have time, I'll treat Mr. Warren to tea. I'll be going now. Ivan wants to press for another invitation, but at that moment the car window rolls down. Mrs. Payne says, it's too late tonight. It wouldn't be right to intrude. Let's do it another day. Ivan quickly pulls his father back. Dad, Mrs. Payne isn't feeling well today. Lena and I just took her to the hospital. Let's plan it another day. Lena drives her mother away and heads straight back to the Payne estate. Mrs. Payne leans against the back seat, her head still slightly aching. You've been out this long. How is Ethan going to eat? He has hands and feet. If he's hungry, he'll figure it out. Lena sounds annoyed. Mrs. Payne glances at her daughter. You, now that you're married, remember to keep your distance from Ivan. Lena's brow furrows in displeasure as she answers, fine, I'll remember. At 10 in the evening, Lena returns to Lunaris Manor. I'm standing by the fridge drinking a beverage. Why are you back so late today? Lena ignores me, changes her shoes and heads upstairs. I stride after her. When I reach her side, you went out to see a man today. Lena stops and looks at me. I lean in close and sniff the air around her. Watching my little move, Lena, who's a complete neat freak, surprisingly feels no urge to pull away. I take a couple of careful sniffs. You definitely went out to see a man. You've got a man's pine scent on you. My brother wears this pine scent too, but Julian isn't home right now. Lena, you're not out there seeing some other wild man, are you? What if I am? Speechless, Lena turns and heads upstairs. I follow her up, but when we reach the second floor and Lena starts heading to the third, seeing that I'm still following, Lena stops and looks at me. I'm totally clueless. Lena glances at my wide-open bedroom door. I turn to look too. Oh right, I forgot my bedroom is right here. Utterly exasperated, Lena continues upstairs to her own bedroom. I lie on my bed and call Grandpa. Grandpa, how's that thing you're helping me with going? Let me be clear up front. If you can't get me back in the country for college, I'll go find Lena right now and tell Grandpa Payne every single embarrassing thing you've done, so Grandpa Payne can roast you for the rest of your life. Aya, kiddo, don't rush. The paperwork abroad is still being processed, I say in a half-joking tone. Anyway, you've got 2 months. You'd better handle this properly or I'll tell Grandma where your secret stash is hidden. Overhearing the call, Grandma grabs Grandpa by the ear. Wait, Harold, do you have a secret stash? I instantly feel guilty. I've shot myself in the foot again. Margaret, let me explain. It was all just to trick the kiddo. I swear, I really haven't been hiding money from you. Feeling guilty, I hang up. Then Grandpa calls me back, but I don't dare answer. The next day, Ivan pays a visit to the Payne house. Where is Lena? Mrs. Payne knows his real intentions lie elsewhere. Ivan is the son of a business partner. When he originally asked to be her graduate student, she couldn't easily refuse and agreed. Before, I could turn a blind eye. But now that Lena is married, if this continues and causes a misunderstanding, that wouldn't be good. So Mrs. Payne calls her daughter. Lena, come home for lunch. Bring Ethan with you. We have a guest. At noon, I step out of Lena's car. The first thing I see is the euphorbia I bought, sitting there, being cared for beautifully. Delighted, I tug Lena over to look. Hearing the car engine cut off, Ivan's eyes fill with anticipation inside the house. Then he hears a man's voice. Lena, come look! Grandpa is taking such good care of it. Let's go buy him another one. Grandpa Payne's eyes go wide with terror. Absolutely not. Out in the yard, Lena grabs my arm. 1 pot is enough. Any more and Grandpa can't keep them alive. Grandpa Payne breathes a sigh of relief. My granddaughter still has some love for me, I say puzzled, but it looks like Grandpa is doing a great job. Inside the house, Grandpa Payne is praying alone. Please, no more, don't buy any more. Walking inside, I see a stranger standing there frozen. Who is this guy? I glance at Lena beside me, waiting for an introduction. Ivan hurriedly stands up and looks at me next to Lena, asking in confusion. Lena, you're home, and this is? Looking at this scene, Ivan actually seems more like the master of the house, or an established guest. I personally don't care at all, but Grandma Payne and Mrs. Payne definitely do. Grandma Payne rises elegantly. Ethan, you are back. Come sit with Grandma. Are you and Lena planning to buy your grandpa another plant? You newlyweds just need to focus on living your own lives well. Don't keep buying things for us. Newlyweds just got married. These two phrases strike Ivan like twin lightning bolts to the head. His whole body goes cold. Even the strongest composure can't save the involuntary slump in his face. Lena is married? He stares at me, who is radiant with a bright smile. And she married the man right in front of him? Why? When? Who is he? Completely unaware I'm being seen as a rival, I sit down next to Grandma Payne. I nod enthusiastically. Yeah, I saw Grandpa doing such a great job with the plant. Too bad Lena wouldn't let me buy another one. She is not filial at all. Grandma Payne, always elegant, and never one to smile with teeth showing, is now laughing with unusual delight upon hearing my words. Arthur, did you hear what our grandson-in-law just said? Lena isn't being a good granddaughter. Mrs. Payne joins in, playfully scolding her daughter. Even your husband is calling you out. You need to change, understand? Lena gives a faint smile and sits down on the single armchair in the living room. Mrs. Payne turns to me with a smile. Oh right, Ethan, let me introduce you. This is the young master of the Warren family, my student. Ivan Warren, this older brother of yours is a top student. Then Mrs. Payne introduces me to Ivan. Ivan, this is Ethan, Lena's husband. I step forward to greet him. Hello. Ivan's body seems to freeze completely. My friendly outstretched hand receives nothing in return. Ivan finally recovers and says, Mrs. Payne, I just remembered I have something urgent. I'll be heading out. Wait, Ivan, you're not staying for lunch? Ivan casts a hopeful glance at Lena. His eyes brim with endless devotion, but Lena still doesn't lift her gaze to look at him. He walks past Lena and strides quickly out the door. I purse my lips. If this guy had held his composure a little longer, he might have earned some sympathy. Leaving so dramatically, afraid nobody would notice, is that it? And glaring at me? I'm innocent here too, okay? A whole room of people watches me staring at Lena, picturing a husband gazing lovingly at his wife, as if silently accusing Lena of being a heartbreaker. Mrs. Payne doesn't say anything more and calls the family to eat. It's during lunch that I finally learn my mother-in-law collapsed yesterday. Mom, you collapsed yesterday? Ethan, Mom is fine, don't worry. No, you still need a blood test and a CT scan. Mom, hold on, I'll call my mom to arrange it. Ethan, Mom is fine, I already got checked yesterday. I still feel uneasy and call my own mom. That afternoon I bring my mother-in-law straight to my mom's office. Ivan returns home crushed. I don't understand. Why did Lena suddenly get married? Lena is married. Aren't the Payne and Sinclair families sworn enemies? People said before that the two families were forming an alliance, and nobody believed it. After decades of feuding, how could they let bygones be bygones and become in-laws? On the way back to Lunaris Manor with Lena, I suddenly speak up. That pine sent on you yesterday was Ivan's. I picked it up. No wonder his eyes were glued to you today. Lena shoots me a sideways glance. Mom collapsed in the lab yesterday. He was the one who called to tell me. Listen to yourself. His eyes were practically growing on you. And you're still defending him? He's clearly head over heels for you. How could anyone not misunderstand? Shut up. Furious, I sink back into the car seat, a chest full of frustration. The more I think about it, the more it bothers me. No, I need to have someone I trust dig around. Only then will I believe what she said. The next day, I pick up my phone and find my best friend. I dial the number. The young master of the Bennett family, still half asleep in bed, picks up without checking the caller ID. Hello? Are you selling houses or cars? I'm not buying insurance, but if you're a phone scammer, I might chat with you for a bit. Kevin, it's me. Kevin is groggy. 1 second he's out cold with nobody able to wake him. The next he throws off the blanket and shoots up in bed. Ethan, you're back in the country? Come meet me. I've been back over a month. You got it. The next day, the handsome and dashing Kevin appears in front of me. Kevin sits down across from me, picks up the iced coffee in front of me, and takes a sip. You called me here. Order your own. I snatch the iced coffee back from his hand. Why are you back? Kevin and I have been friends for over 10 years. Back when my family shipped me overseas for school, he was the one who threw the biggest fit and protested the loudest. Kevin wanted to go abroad with me too, but I snapped him out of it. Kevin, are you stupid? You've taken the exams like 20 times already. Stop torturing yourself. Hearing that, Kevin said, fine, I quit. Studying makes my hair fall out, and you're calling me stupid? So he stayed in the country and peacefully went to college. I got tricked and dragged overseas alone by my family. Even so, the moment I left the country, Kevin flew right after me to help me settle into a foreign country. Once I was mostly settled in, he flew back. Do me a favor, you never bring anything good. No, it's about Lena. Kevin acts like he just heard the funniest joke of his life. About Lena? You're asking me for help? My God, how much do you overestimate me? My dear young master of the Sinclair family. You should be calling me the son-in-law of the Payne family. Get out of here. If I'm the Payne son-in-law, you couldn't possibly be one. I look at my worked-up friend. You just asked me why I came back, right? Take a sip first to steady your nerves. I push the iced coffee toward him. Why? Just do it. Kevin takes a sip and hasn't even swallowed yet. I came back to get married. Kevin sprays the coffee straight out onto the floor. Not shocking enough for me. Guess who I married? Kevin stares at me stunned. I lean in. I married Lena. Impossible. Lena is basically the queen of Havencrest, the goddess in countless people's hearts. And your family and the Paynes are sworn enemies. Lena would marry anyone before she'd marry you. Knew you wouldn't believe me. I brought the marriage certificate. I pushed the red booklet toward Kevin. How much did you pay for this under a bridge somewhere? I pull out my phone and dial a number, then put it on speaker. Lena, on her way to a meeting, glances at the caller ID. She waves her subordinates on ahead. Hello, the food hasn't been delivered home yet? Is your name Lena? My teasing voice comes through. Lena replies flatly. Ethan, what do you want this time? Oh, never mind then. Bye, my dear wife. I hang up briskly. I look at my petrified best friend across the table. Believe me now? Kevin nods mechanically. Ethan, you've really made it, buddy. That's the internationally famous Lena. So will you help me now? The two of us huddle together, and I whisper something in Kevin's ear. What? You two just got married and you want me to dig into her past dating life? That afternoon when I get home, Lena is already sitting on the sofa waiting for me. What was that phone call this morning about? Nothing really. I just saw a number without a saved contact name, so I called to see if it was you. Even after hearing my voice, you weren't sure. So you had to call me wife. Who's been bullying you today? Need me to use my status to scare them off? I take a sip of water. Do I look like someone who gets bullied? Lena takes one look. Yes. I let out a huff, walk behind Lena, and instinctively lean in for a sniff, still bothered by yesterday's mystery. No pine scent. I turn and head back to my room. In the evening I get hungry and come out to hunt for food. Seeing that Lena hasn't started cooking, I go back to my room. Half an hour later, I come out again to find Lena still hasn't cooked. I retreat once more. On my third trip out, Lena, go cook. I'm hungry. Lena doesn't even look up. Explain that phone call clearly, and then you get food. What's wrong with you? I open the fridge, grab a cucumber to chew on, and walk away. Another half hour passes. I sit on the sofa facing the woman who holds the power over my full stomach. I met up with my best bro and bragged that I married you. He didn't believe me, so I called you. Bragged? I mutter irritably, yeah. You married me and you're that happy about it? Not happy? If you're not happy, what's there to brag about? I've explained. You don't believe me. Are you cooking or not? If you don't cook, I'll tell Grandpa you're starving me. This afternoon, Kevin Bennett, the young master of the Bennett Group, was digging into information about me across all social circles, mostly the tabloid kind. Lena watches me squirm with guilt. I hear this young Master Bennett has been best friends with my husband for over 10 years. I'm speechless. Silence is all I've got, and I'm sticking to it. I want tomato and egg noodles. Tonight we're having stir-fried potatoes. I pout. Then go make them. Or are you waiting for me to blow up your kitchen? She said potatoes, but staring at the diced potatoes, sliced potatoes, shredded potatoes, and chunked potatoes in front of me. Lena, aren't you worried the potato family will come for revenge? Not worried. She rarely cooks. When she does, it's just for herself. On schedule, portioned, and elegantly. She rarely sits at the same table with a man. Looking at the potato feast, she expected me to get sick of it. But instead, I hold my bowl and dig in with my chopsticks. Lena didn't expect me to get so cocky. So good. This one is sour delicious. This one is spicy. I'm loving every bite. Lena, you're amazing. I get up with my bowl. Lena thinks I'm full and about to leave. Then she sees me carry my bowl straight to the living room, turn on the TV, and eat while watching. Just eat, don't watch TV. Eating without TV cuts the flavor in half. Vivian, please hurry up and come take your brother away. After I'm full and satisfied, I go back to my room and video call Kevin. Stop digging. You've been exposed. Learning he's been reverse-tracked. Kevin gets seriously excited. Miss Lena, as expected, she's incredible. I haven't even found anything yet. At the end of the call, Kevin grins mischievously. Ethan, so you're living at Lunaris Manor now? Yeah, Kevin says eagerly. Quick, show me around Lunaris Manor. I give him a look of disgust. It's pitch black. What could you even see? So you're living with Lena? I hesitate for a moment. Yeah, I guess so. Kevin gets even more excited. Ethan, I'm crowning you a god. Let me get a look at Miss Lena. Just one glance. I've never seen her in person. I hold up my phone. Then don't talk. I'll casually snap a shot. Kevin nods excitedly. holding his phone up, face full of anticipation. Both of us mute the call. I step out, scratching my head, and shout upstairs, "Lena!" Lena in the study clearly hears me but keeps her eyes closed and pretends to nap, ignoring me. "Lena!" My voice drills into her ears like some demonic sound. Lena closes her laptop and steps out. "What?" I'm hungry again. Got to lure her down first, otherwise she won't come off the third floor and I can't get her photo. How is this man so hard to please? He ate so much at dinner, hasn't even digested yet, and he's hungry again? She suddenly remembers what she promised Grandpa, that she wouldn't let me starve. She remembers I'm Vivian's little brother. Even if she doesn't care about him, she cares about Vivian. She takes a deep breath. Got it. Heading downstairs, she remembers I asked for tomato and egg noodles. Lena walks into the kitchen and is about to start when she sharply senses me behind her, sneaking closer. She turns around, and I'm standing there properly, all innocent. Lena frowns, turns back, and keeps chopping tomatoes. Kevin waits anxiously. The camera starts to shake. Just as I quietly lift my phone to snap a shot, Lena whirls around. Panicked, I hide the phone behind my back. Lena walks over. "Give me the phone." I shake my head. Lena reaches to grab it. Why is he filming me cook? To post it or to show my picture to someone else? Or maybe, afraid of getting caught, I fumble around the screen blindly. I have no idea if the video call ended or not. "I'm not giving it. You were filming me in secret." I shake my head. "No." Lena glares at me. I jump. While I'm distracted, Lena snatches my phone away. Our video call had already ended when I was fumbling around. Lena can only see in the chat log that there was a half-hour video call between the two of us. Because of the tussle, we're now standing very close. Lena lifts her head and, for the first time, sees my face clearly. Sharp, well-defined features. Anyone would call this guy handsome. Lena gazes at those romantic peach blossom eyes. Her heartbeat quickens without her realizing. So familiar. Just like the woman who once pulled me out of a dark world. Just then my phone rings. We both look over. It's Kevin. He'd sent messages for a while with no reply, so he called. In that same moment, Lena realizes how close we're standing. She takes a step back, putting distance between us. My heart is racing too. This woman is going to be my sister-in-law. After we just stood like that, how am I supposed to face my brother in the future? Kevin saw nothing. Now nobody's even answering his call. Lena doesn't want to deal with me anymore and heads back to her bedroom. What about my late-night snack? Lena picks up the tomato she just started slicing and shoves it straight into my mouth. Just eat. She then heads upstairs. The next second, Kevin calls again. This time I pick up. "Ethan, what were you dragging your feet on earlier, and why were you stuttering? Don't tell me you got shy. Did something happen between you and Lena?" "Nothing happened." I dodge his eyes guiltily. Thinking back on that moment, my heart flutters for an instant. An image pops into my head out of nowhere, of me and her slowly leaning in. I quickly shake my head, throwing off that terrifying image. Seeing my discomfort, Kevin says, "You two didn't." Meanwhile, on the staircase, Lena stops. What if he really does get hungry in the middle of the night? Those ingredients would just go to waste. I'll make him a bowl of noodles. She suddenly hears my voice on speakerphone. About to descend, she immediately turns back. "No, nothing, it's not what you think. She's going to be my sister-in-law someday." Kevin scrunches his face and bares his teeth. "Your family is really something." "Whatever, you'll get it eventually." A few days later, Vivian returns to the country. She doesn't go to the Sinclair house. She heads straight to Lunaris Manor. That evening, Lena comes home early. She doesn't cook, just orders food to be delivered from a restaurant. Restaurant food isn't nearly as good as yours. I'm all pouty, and it is not as clean as your cooking. Did you? Before I can finish, someone bursts through the door shouting, "Little bro, Ethan, Lena!" Vivian rushes in, sees me pathetically circling around Lena. "Sis, you're finally back." "Ethan, I am here. What's up? Someone bullying you?" "Sis, can you stop calling me little bro? It sounds weird." Lena stands up, watching the emotional sibling embrace. She walks over and pulls us apart. "Why are you back so late? You think I wanted to be?" "The lab held me up." "Lena, you've got some nerve. You waited until my big brother and I were away and snatched up my little brother. What were you thinking? How old is my little brother even?" "Sis, I'm not that young. And I already had my birthday." Vivian is on a roll, then suddenly freezes. "Wait, what? When was your birthday?" I roll my eyes at my sister. "Long past. You didn't even call. Forget a gift. Julian's gone missing, and you disappeared too?" Vivian scrambles for a lame excuse. No signal at sea, I forgot." Then Vivian keeps unloading on Lena. "Honestly, I'm having a hard time accepting you becoming my sister-in-law." Lena's face darkens. I jump in to defend her. "Sis, you're yelling at the wrong person." What's going on? Don't tell me you went for her yourself. You trying to give Grandpa a heart attack?" I shake my head. "No, Grandpa forced me to marry her. I didn't want to either." "Sis, you have no idea. Since I moved in, I've had nowhere to get food and no one to take care of my laundry." 10 minutes later, Vivian confirms it. This marriage really was arranged by our grandfather. "Why?" I sit next to Vivian and whisper to her right in front of Lena. "Really?" Then I lean into Vivian's ear and whisper more. "There's more to this?" I nod and lean back in. "And you agreed?" I nod again. Just as I'm about to whisper more, Lena walks over. "Take him away. Don't worry, I want peace and quiet too." "Yes, sis, please take me away. Nobody comes to Lunaris Manor. I'm only holding on because my sister is here. Not only is the place deserted, there's nothing around. Even delivery drivers won't come. I really can't get used to living here. Especially at night, it's so unbelievably quiet." I even glance sideways at Lena as I say it. I vent to my sister for a good long while. So satisfying. Heh. Anyway, my sister's about to take me home. I'm happily dreaming about it when I think, little bro, since you already married Lena, you have to live with her. Abandoning your wife and going home alone isn't something a Sinclair should do. The world's best sister, here to bring her brother home, just completely shattered her persona. What my little brother told me just now gave me a great idea. I probably shouldn't take Ethan home. Planting someone at Lena's Lunaris Manor is nearly impossible. Now that Ethan has finally moved in, I have to squeeze every last drop of usefulness out of him. Plus, I can now use visiting my brother as an excuse to come here anytime. Perfect. Sis, did those experiments fry your brain? My sister tries to reason with me. Little bro, listen to me. I'm not listening, I say furiously. Sis, you're abandoning me too? I miss Julian, the brother who loved me most. Vivian tries to negotiate. Little bro, you and Lena are going to negotiate your divorce in 2 years anyway. Hearing this, Lena raises a delicate eyebrow and watches us silently. After you graduate and go back to being single, listen to me. Spend these 2 years learning business management from Lena. Not a bad idea, I say angrily. Why don't you go learn from her? I am already too accomplished, no room for improvement. I thought my sister would come stand up for me and take me out of here. But the reality is my sister came to Lunaris Manor, had a huge feast, and even called it coming to visit my little brother and sister-in-law's home. What is this? Just my bad luck? As I walk my sister out, Vivian links her arm through mine and whispers something in my ear. Speechless, I ask, Sis, why are you also asking me to grab something from Lena? Standing not far behind us, Lena is at a loss for words. Vivian asks, besides me and our grandpa, who else? Grandpa, my own grandpa told me. Ethan, Lena has information on your brother's whereabouts. Find a chance to talk to her about it. If not, sneak a look. Our family is investigating too, but if we combine both families' information, we can find your brother. Grandpa Payne told me. Ethan, Grandpa Payne will share a secret with you. And now my sister too. Little bro, Lena has a black file folder. Talk to her. Let us take a look. In the end, they each promise me different rewards. I know they're all just dangling empty promises. Vivian goes home. I turn around and see my newlywed wife standing there watching me. What are you looking at? Go with her. Guilty, I rub my nose. I'm not going with her. Go on. There's no life in this place anyway. I wave my hands frantically. But I've been living here for days now. You've been living here for years. Lena keeps her sarcastic tone going. This place is deserted, nothing around, delivery drivers won't come. Vivian barely left before Lena and I start bickering. I've gotten used to it now, okay? It's really quiet at night, sure. Lena pauses her words. You better watch it. I fire back without thinking. I should watch out for you. You seem full of resentment right now. Not to lecture you, but you're a company CEO. Stop hanging on to petty things. I'm your husband now. Lena is livid. Live here one day, you work one day, you clean the dining room. I glance at the 3-person mess of leftovers. You want me to wash dishes? Lena grits her teeth to stay calm. There's a dishwasher in the kitchen, and with that she heads straight upstairs. I stand there scratching my head. A moment later, from the second floor corner, I shout, Lena! 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 The third floor study door opens. She walks out. What? How do I use the dishwasher? It's that time again, the weekly dinner at the Payne house with Lena. I've learned my lesson. I firmly decide not to stay over tonight. But Mrs. Payne says she isn't fully recovered yet, so I get worried about her and end up staying. Lately, Grandpa Payne loves to brag about how great I am whenever he goes out, and all the praise reaches my grandpa. The 2 old men are secretly competing again. My grandpa calls me. Didn't I tell you to help me get even? What's this about you telling his family jokes? Before I came, I was fired up and ready, well prepared. But everyone in the Payne family treats me so well. Grandpa, stirring up trouble on purpose isn't right. Never mind that, just do it and end this early. The paperwork for your school transfer is all done, just waiting for the term to start. But that major you want, I'm sprawled at the foot of the bed on the call. Lena walks in and sees me like that. I hang up and head downstairs, feeling frustrated. Grandpa Payne is in the living room with Mr. Payne and Mrs. Payne. Looks like Mr. Payne just got home. I was so brilliant. It was worth swallowing my pride to bring those two together. The more Grandpa Payne talks, the more suffocated I feel. I'm the perfectly fine third young master of the Sinclair family, dragged in to be a grandson-in-law over some ancient feud. Fine, whatever. I'll be the grandson-in-law. But my grandpa hasn't even kept his promise. So how big of a deal was it back then anyway? Feeling suffocated, I open my mouth. Grandpa, I'm curious about something. What is it? I feel a little embarrassed to ask. Grandpa, you and Grandma have been married for decades. Why are you still hung up on that thing from way back? Grandpa, you haven't been secretly holding on to that old engagement, have you? The Payne family living room falls dead silent. Nobody says a word. Mrs. Payne looks past me and Grandpa Payne at someone behind us. Mom? We both whip around and see the elegant elderly woman who just came out of the bathroom. Grandma. Grandma Payne gives an elegant little nod. Anyone who knows her can tell this is her holding back her anger. The more elegant she gets, the angrier she is. Grandpa Payne's face turns bright red. Nonsense! There's no such thing! I never had eyes on anyone else. That was all the elders playing matchmaker back then. Your grandma and I didn't even share a single meal. On the sofa nearby, Lena's face is turning to ice, staring hard at me. Grandpa Payne looks at his wife who hasn't moved an inch. He knows he's done for. His wife is upset. My eyes dart around. I only brought up the old story because I thought Grandma Payne wasn't here. I'm not stupid. What are the odds that the moment I ask, Grandma Payne would appear? Lena walks over and grips my wrist, scolding me softly. Stop gossiping about our elders' past. Careful, or I won't hold back for your brother and sister's sake. I quickly, nervously apologize. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Grandma Payne waves her hand. It's fine. I'm not angry with Ethan. He's telling the truth. Mrs. Payne quickly steps in to smooth things over. Mom, Ethan is still young. Don't hold it against a kid. Grandma Payne nods with a smile. Lena, you and Ethan are staying at the Payne house tonight. Then she turns to her daughter-in-law. Diana, come upstairs with me. She doesn't give Grandpa Payne even one glance the entire time. Grandpa Payne is frantic. That's ancient history. Ellie, you know I didn't. Grandma Payne goes upstairs and shuts the door. Grandpa Payne looks at me with my head down. Lena quickly pulls me upstairs and closes the door. Did Grandpa Sinclair tell you to do this? Yes, but my original plan was to just hide Grandma's flowers. Wait, why am I telling you Grandpa's in my plan? I only realized halfway through. I was too flustered. She asked, and I just spilled everything. My grandpa didn't tell me to stir up trouble. I scrambled to do damage control. Lena knows her grandpa and my grandpa don't get along and are always secretly competing all along. Guilty? I scratch the back of my head and sneak a glance at Lena. Finding her still staring at me, I feel even guiltier. Now that Lena knows about my grandpa's and my plan, I'm a bit scared she won't believe me. I really wasn't doing it on purpose this time. I even checked that Grandma wasn't there before asking. I just don't get it. Why did my grandpa insist that I marry you? Lena is speechless. What would you do with the answer? Nothing. Then is there any point in knowing? Answers exist to clear up confusion, not so we can keep our eyes closed. Lena pauses. Then I'll tell you. Our marriage came from the elders' misunderstanding and stubborn pride. So why me? Lena's tone stays calm. Because you're the youngest in your family. Your grandpa brags about you the most, so my grandpa picked you. I press on. Why? Because you're the easiest to control. I feel like I just took a billion critical hits and stride right out. Lena watches my retreating back and feels a flicker of regret. Why did I say those things to hurt him? Lena finishes showering and heads to the study, only to find the room empty. Why isn't he back yet? She steps out to ask the servants and learns I went out. Lena decides not to worry about it and goes straight to the study. While she's working, she glances at the clock in the corner of her screen. 11 at night. This late? He should be back by now, right? Lena gets up and steps out, heading to her bedroom. She pushes the door open, and everything looks untouched. The bed is still clean and made. Lena frowns. He didn't come back? A grown man throwing a silent tantrum? Is he an idiot? Lena mutters to herself and returns to the study. Another half hour passes. She can't sit still, gets up, and the room is still the same. Did he run back to the Sinclair house? After all, he is my husband. Lena psychs herself up. I'll just check in on him. She takes out her phone and calls my number. After 2 rings, I hang up on her directly. The corner of Lena's mouth curls with amusement. Got some nerve, doesn't he? Not coming home over a few words? Fine, let him spend the night out there then. 12:30 in the morning. A Havencrest news alert pops up on Lena's phone. A wanted suspect is on the run. Photos have been released asking citizens to be alert and call the police if they spot the suspect. Lena closes the news. She closes her eyes. Forget that he's my newlywed husband. For my best friend's little brother's sake, what if that idiot actually runs into someone dangerous? Right, so my best friend doesn't have to worry. 5 minutes later, Lena hurries out. Grandma Payne, who's also still awake, comes out. Lena, why aren't you asleep this late? Where are you going? Out to find Ethan. Not long after, Lena arrives at the Sinclair house. The Sinclair family is stunned. Lena, why are you here alone this late? Ethan isn't with you. He didn't even come home. Not wanting to worry the Sinclairs, she makes up some excuse and leaves. Vivian chases after her. What happened to my little brother? Where is Ethan? Lena's face shows concern. We had an argument and he ran out. Hearing this, Vivian immediately heads to the garage. If anything happens to Ethan, I'm coming for you. Lena aimlessly searches the main city roads. She's debating whether to call for backup when her phone suddenly rings. She picks it up and sees, of all people, me, the runaway husband. She pulls the car over and immediately answers. Hello? Her voice carries urgency. I just stepped out of the shower. Did you call for a reason? Where are you? I ask, a little puzzled. At home. Where exactly are you? Ethan, since when did you learn to lie? I explode. Why won't she believe my explanation? I really didn't mean to do it. She doesn't trust me. I say heavily, Lena, I'll say it again. I never wanted to hurt the relationship between Grandma Payne and Grandpa Payne. My grandpa wouldn't have asked me to do that. I didn't lie. I didn't. If I said something wrong, I'll apologize. I'm already making up for it. Believe it or don't. I hang up angrily. Lena puts down her phone and leans back in the car, thinking. I went to the Sinclair house. I didn't see him. Then she calls Vivian. Lena, did you find my brother? Lena asks directly. Did you actually see Ethan tonight? The moment I got home tonight, I was in the living room getting lectured by Grandpa and Grandma. If Ethan had come home, Grandpa would have dragged him in for a lecture too. Did he call you? Vivian catches on immediately. Yes, he said he was at home. Both Vivian and Lena instantly think of the Payne house. Lena rushes to drive home. The moment she enters the living room, she asks the servant still on duty, has the young master come home? The young master came back and went upstairs to rest. Lena goes upstairs to the bedroom, sees me lying on the bed, and lets out a sigh of relief. Suddenly her phone rings. It's Vivian. Yes, he's home, already asleep. Lena, Ethan was spoiled by me and Julian. If you two really can't get along, I'll take him to my apartment. I understand. I'm jolted awake and squint through the haze. Seeing Lena standing right next to me, I'm instantly wide awake. I shoot up in bed. Lena, why are you just standing there without a sound? You scared me. Lena's face shows displeasure. I was worried about you. I searched for you for so long. You yelled at me on the phone, fine. Now you're yelling at me again? You're being mean to me? I really wasted my worry. The next day, sun high in the sky. I really didn't. That ancient trivial stuff was just me bickering with old Sinclair. Ellie, you have to believe me. Please talk to me. Grandma Payne responds. Move your euphorbia off my flower rack. I might accidentally splash it while watering. Okay. He picks up both pots to leave. Wait, put Ethan's pot back down. Grandpa Payne finally gets it, so it's not about splashing water, she just doesn't want mine there. Grandpa Payne even tries to drag his son and daughter-in-law into speaking up for him. Don't you two have work to go to? You're that free? The two exchange a look. Mr. Payne takes Mrs. Payne's hand and leaves. Grandpa Payne is so mad his mustache trembles and his eyes glare. Brat, can't even say one nice word from me. Grandpa Payne plans to go find his granddaughter and grandson-in-law, but those two are still asleep. Last night we didn't go to bed until 2 or 3 in the morning. Just after 8, Lena's phone call wakes me. I shuffle in my slippers to wash up. Not long after, Lena finishes her call and gets up. She walks into the bathroom and looks at me. Where did you actually go last night? I spit out a mouthful of toothpaste foam and explain to her. After breakfast, Lena is heading to the office. Before leaving, she says to me, Ethan, come with me. I'll drop you off at your family's first. I have big things to do. I'm not going. I have my own stuff. You go on ahead. Lena isn't reassured. Mrs. Payne, standing nearby, says, Don't worry. No one at home is going to bully Ethan. Lena thinks, am I worried about him being bullied? I'm worried about him stirring up more trouble. Still uneasy, she pulls me to the side and warns, No mischief. If the mood at home shifts, call me immediately. I'm not causing mischief. I really didn't mean to. Lena teases, This is a brain, not a bowl of water. I got it. Your brain is the one full of water. I stalk off annoyed. Before leaving, Lena instructs the butler, If anything seems off, call me. Keep an eye on the young master. Don't let him say the wrong thing. The butler agrees and watches Miss Lena leave. All morning, Lena doesn't get a single call. Feeling uneasy, she calls me. I hang up on her. She calls home. Miss Lena, the young master went out. Lena grips her phone tight. Ethan! That evening, Lena returns to the Payne house. Lena, come here, quick! I wave and call out to her, excitement plastered all over my face, impossible to hide. Lena walks over, confused, about to speak. Grandpa, Lena is back. We're going ahead with the plan tonight, I say excitedly. Grandpa Payne blushes a little, feeling shy. Ethan, don't set Grandpa up to fail. Will this really work? Grandpa, the method is old-fashioned, sure, but think about it. Why do old cliché tricks stand the test of time? I answer my own question. Because they work. Lena asks curiously, What are you two doing? Grandpa, don't be afraid. This isn't embarrassing. Lena is back. Here's our ready-made helper right on time. Lena is even more confused, staring at me with a puzzled look. Grandpa, do you still want to win Grandma back? Grandpa Payne looks helpless. Ethan, after this is done, you're not allowed to embellish it and tell your grandpa. I suddenly go quiet. Great idea. I hadn't even thought of that. Lena tries to make her presence known, about to speak. Grandpa Payne immediately jumps in. Lena, whatever you say later, make sure you hold your husband's hand. Don't let him take pictures. Lena frowns. Hold on, can one of you please tell me first, what are you two doing? In the evening, Grandma Payne is tending to the plants in the yard. I nudge Lena's arm gently. Lena, remember your task. If we blow this, don't you dare pin your grandparents' fight on me. Lena stares at me in disbelief. So last night you didn't run away from home. You went out with Grandpa to scout locations? And today you didn't answer my calls because you were setting up the venue? I say smugly. That's right. For Operation Save True Love, I'm the mastermind commander and director. Lena also understands now what I meant by making up for it on the phone. So that's it. How childish. What'd you say? Lena ignores me. I really don't get it. This kind of tacky, unoriginal, overdone confession is usually only done by people with low emotional intelligence. Why is he going along with this too? I can see the disdain in Lena's eyes. Her gaze lands on my face. From some corner, Grandpa Payne is whispering, Ethan, Ethan. I turn to see Grandpa Payne all dressed up. I gently nudge Lena beside me. Your turn. Lena looks at me. You have no idea what you're getting into. I pretend not to understand and urge her on. Hurry up, you're dragging your feet. Be careful, or I won't give you any food later. Lena is speechless. Who is it that's been drooling over my cooking every day? Dead inside, she walks over. Grandpa Payne and I head out to prepare the final touches for the romantic prelude. Half an hour later, Lena's phone rings. Hello? Lena, it's your turn to bring Grandma out. Lena glances at the concert tickets in her hand. Are you sure I have to say this? Say it, trust me, Grandma will be moved. Lena isn't so sure. She walks over to her grandma. Grandma, are you free tonight? She pauses. I'd like to take you to a concert. Grandma Payne's attention is still on the plants in front of her. I remembers you don't like concerts. My interests changed. Grandma Payne sets down her small shovel. That's for young people to enjoy. Take your husband instead. Him? If he doesn't fall asleep, I'll consider it a win. Lena teases with a smile. Grandma Payne turns to her granddaughter. Then let him lean on you and sleep. Lena tucks away the 2 concert tickets. Grandma, drop the act. I'll be honest too. Ethan and Grandpa asked me to bring you to Shoreline Beach. Let's go. Hearing this, Grandma Payne isn't the least bit surprised. Last night she saw the grandfather-grandson duo whispering in the living room for ages, and sneaking out in the middle of the night she already had her guesses. Lena also knows perfectly well that her grandma has always had her grandpa completely in the palm of her hand. Those two and their leaky little scheme. One goofy, clueless man plus one panicked old man with no sense left. How secretive could that combo possibly be? Grandma Payne washes her hands and gets into her granddaughter's car. You didn't bring your parents in on this? Lena explains with a smile. Grandpa was afraid of losing face, so he didn't let us tell them. The car gradually approaches the beach. Grandma teases, so he doesn't mind losing face in front of you and Ethan? Lena replies gently, Grandpa never cares about face in front of me. And even if he did, his precious grandson-in-law wrecked it all. He planned this with Ethan. Whether he cares or not doesn't matter anymore. Grandma Payne laughs. Ethan really is a good kid. Grandpa, quick, tell the lighting crew to cut the lights. Scouting up ahead, I bark out orders. The surroundings start going dark. Lena spots me hiding behind the bushes. She takes one look, keeps driving past, and then glances in the rearview mirror to see me stand up and dash toward the beach. Grandpa Payne is nervously reciting a script. Ethan, do I really have to say all these cheesy lines? I nod solemnly. Grandpa, women love to hear sweet words, especially these. Trust me on this. Grandpa Payne stares at the script skeptically. Before long, we see Lena walking on the beach, supporting Grandma. The next moment, spotlights hit the two of them. Everything around goes dark, with only the two of them lit up under the spotlights. Lena grits her teeth. Why didn't anyone tell me about this? If there were reporters around, my public image would be finished. Thankfully, the lights soon go out. Grandma Payne stands on the beach, looking at her husband across from her. Arthur. Lena brings Grandma to Grandpa, then turns around and marches away from this drama zone. She walks over to me, reaches out, and pinches my arm. Wait, don't pinch my arm. Ethan, why didn't you tell me about this part? My phone is still on the group voice call. We were in a rush and didn't have time to buy walkie-talkies, so a group voice call had to do. Ignoring the pain in my arm, I issued the next command. Activate the ground lights. The next moment, lights illuminate the ground. Roses are planted all around the beach with a light flickering under each one, lighting up a full circle. Looking closely, it's actually shaped like a heart, with the two of them standing right in the middle. Grandma Payne is puzzled. Am I seeing things? There weren't any flowers here just now. How did they appear all at once? Even though she'd guessed something like this would happen, she's still stunned by the scene. Then Grandpa Payne pulls a huge bouquet of roses from behind his back. He clears his throat, thinking of the sickeningly sweet lines his grandson-in-law made him memorize. No. The granddaughter and grandson-in-law may not be present, but the behind-the-scenes crew is still here. Sweetheart, one person's sincerity can fake it for a moment, but not a lifetime. Whether I love you, nobody knows better than you. Don't ignore me. When I bicker with old Sinclair, I've never once brought that up. Back then, when I didn't know how to refuse, he showed up. In those days, I used to sneak over to the company next door just to watch you. Elegant, graceful, gentle, and beautiful. You are the one in my heart. Yes, I did drag up old stories, but every time he bragged in front of me about how adorable his little grandson was, I got jealous and just wanted to say, wouldn't it be nice if Ethan were ours? I want to rush over and press him for more, but Lena quickly grabs my arm. We hear Grandpa Payne continue. I don't know old Sinclair's little secrets either. Our families have no business dealings, and Lena runs the company, single-handedly these days. She definitely wouldn't listen to me, so I can only bring up the past. Everything else, I don't know. All I know is that I married the one and only love of my life. Watching her anxious husband, Grandma Payne bursts out laughing behind her hand. I know, Grandpa Payne asks tentatively. So you're not mad anymore? Grandma Payne doesn't answer, just reaches her hand toward Grandpa. I quickly say into the voice call, Grandpa, hurry, give her the flowers! Grandpa Payne quickly hands the flowers over and keeps asking, Ellie, tomorrow can my euphorbia sit next to your flowers in the sun? Grandma Payne nods. The next moment, fireworks bloom above them all around, dazzling like stars, bursting layer after layer in the night sky. I lean in close to Lena's side and whisper with a laugh, See? Mission accomplished. Grandpa finally won Grandma back. Lena turns her head. The starlight sparks reflect in her eyes, and her gaze softens by half. You and your endless schemes. We lock eyes. Her tender face is reflected in mine. My heart starts pounding. I think back on all those noisy, chaotic days, from being forced into this marriage and constantly getting mad at each other, to learning to cook together to handle both families. The thought I once clung to about divorcing in 3 years to escape has quietly changed. Originally, I just wanted to help Grandpa get his revenge. Who would have guessed we'd end up with all these fun adventures? The two elders talk side by side, the atmosphere warm and sweet. Lena and I walk side by side on the beach. I stop and look at her seriously. To be honest, after all this time together, I stopped wanting a divorce a long time ago. At first I thought you were an aloof, ice-cold CEO. The longer I've known you, the more I've seen your gentle, caring side. The tips of Lena's ears turn slightly pink. After a moment of silence, she softly speaks. Same for me. Originally I only married you because of family arrangements, but the daily bickering and messing around with you brought so much warmth and life to a lonely Lunaris manor. My heart leaps. I boldly take a half step forward. Then from now on, let's just live our life well. No more thinking about separating. Let's be there for both families' elders together and make our days lively and full. Sounds good? Her lips curl into a small smile as she gives a gentle nod. Moonlight spills over the two of us, and every past misunderstanding melts away. On the drive back, the car is no longer filled with awkward silence. We chat about the funny antics of both grandfathers, share little inside jokes, and laughter fills the car. Back at Lunaris Manor, looking at this place I once complained about endlessly, I now find it unexpectedly warm and comforting. In the days that follow, I learn to work steadily and slowly pick up cooking skills, no longer always trying to slack off. Lena sheds her sharp edges, and in her free time she watches TV with me and strolls through markets. The old feud between the Sinclair and Payne families becomes a closed chapter, and the two families gather often, happy and harmonious. What started as an unexpected arranged marriage, through days of being together, grew into a love full of joy. Hand in hand, side by side, we walk towards simple, warm years to come, turning what began as a helpless marriage into something the whole world envies.